My sister placed her hand on my husband's arm at Thanksgiving dinner and said, "We're so happy to start our little family." That's when I realized my sister was pregnant with my husband's baby. Then it got worse. David looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Pack your things. You need to be out by this weekend." Hey there. Welcome back to my channel. This is the story of how Elena Vance lost everything and her journey to rebuilding. Like, subscribe, and comment, and let's begin. At Thanksgiving dinner, Elena's wine glass shatters in her grip. Blood wells between her fingers, but she doesn't look away from her sister's hand, resting possessively on David's thigh. He doesn't move it, doesn't even flinch. David simply lets her caress him in front of everyone. "What the fuck is going on?" Elena asks. Silence. No one at the table breathes. Then Chloe leans back, smiling like she's won something. "What? Can a girl
Spend time with her baby daddy?" The room tilts. David turns to Elena, and his eyes, those eyes that once looked at her with something resembling affection, they are now cold, empty. "Since you can't give me a real family, Chloe decided to." He picks up his wine, takes a slow sip. Elena grips the edge of the table she spent all morning setting. The turkey she basted for hours sits untouched, mocking her. But she still can't wrap her head around the fact that David is the father of Chloe's baby. "You've been sleeping with my sister. For how long? Why would you even do that?" Margaret finally raises her head. The expression Elena finds there isn't regret or shame. It's satisfaction. "Because you failed to make your room useful," Margaret says, voice steady. "The baby is his. It's time to be realistic about your limitations." Elena's gaze swings to her father. Robert sits motionless, cutting his turkey with methodical precision, and says nothing. "Dad?" Still nothing. David stands, extracting an envelope from his jacket. He drops it on the table between the mashed potatoes and cranberry sauce. "Divorce papers. Sign them." His voice is casual, like he's discussing the weather. "And I need you out by tomorrow." Chloe's hand moves to her rounded belly. "I'm moving in on Sunday. David and I need to be intimate more times than usual now for easier delivery." Her smile is honey-sweet poison. "Not like I expect you to understand, Elena." Elena stands. Her chair scrapes against hardwood. She walks to the kitchen, stands next to the pumpkin pie she made at 5 that morning, and struggles to hold back her tears. "Elena, don't be dramatic," Margaret calls after her. "We can discuss this like adults." Elena turns. "Get out of my house." Margaret's lips are thin. "It's not your house anymore, dear. Remember you transferred everything to David?" The words hit like a physical blow. David reminds her that this house, the one she bought, was now in his name, and if she couldn't control herself, she was more than welcome to get out. Angry
and hurt, Elena walks out, gets in her car, then drives. Her phone buzzes. "Don't come back tonight. Chloe is staying over." It's been 3 days since that night. Elena never went back home. Elena sits in the motel room that smells like bleach and failure. 3 days of calling lawyers who all say the same thing. The asset transfers were legal. Her signature is on everything. She opens her banking app, her secret personal account, $840. The joint account, the one with her business earnings, has been showing an error message all weekend. Access denied. Even the account where her salary is being paid to. She was locked out of everything, she calls the bank. The representative's voice is apologetic but firm. Mr. David is listed as the sole owner of Vance Marketing, all other firms under Vance Groups, and all associated accounts as of June 15th, 2024. We would need his permission to give you access, ma'am. Over a year ago, June 15th, 2024, was their anniversary dinner. She surprised David by giving him all her properties after he lost his job that week. Now, That one decision she made out of love has destroyed everything. Elena stares at her suitcase, everything she was able to pack before leaving that night. And that was when she saw something she never thought would follow her to the motel. Her old fertility journal from the suitcase. She opens it and flips through pages with hot tears streaming down her cheeks. Month 6. Dr. Malley says we should increase the dosage. Mom brought over the new prescription today. Month 9. Still nothing. Mom says to keep trying. Month 12. I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. Mom has been bringing my medications weekly now. Says she wants to make sure I don't forget. Elena paused her reading for a second. Margaret's weekly visits, always with pills, always insisting Elena take them immediately. Let me see you swallow them, darling. But they never worked. The suspicion began immediately. With trembling fingers, Elena's hands shake as she searches for the reproductive specialists someone referred her to some months back. 2 hours later, she sits across from Dr. Sarah, who holds up Elena's pill bottle with carefully controlled anger. Ms. Vance, these aren't fertility medications. Dr. Chen's voice is tight. These prevent conception. Who prescribed these? Dr. Malley, our family physician for 20 years. Dr. Chen's expression darkens. Robert Malley was reported to the medical board 3 years ago for insurance fraud. The case was settled quietly. She leans forward. Based on your blood work, the damage is reversible, but someone has been deliberately sabotaging you. The room spins, and up until Elena left, she couldn't focus on anything the doctor was saying. She was only replaying the 5 words that made a bomb go off in her body. Someone has been deliberately sabotaging you. Elena drives straight to her childhood home. Margaret answers the door in a cream cashmere sweater, reading, glasses perched on her nose. Elena, I'm glad you came. Did you know about the pills? Elena asks immediately. Silence stretches between them. Then Margaret removes her glasses. Of course I knew. I made the arrangement with Dr. Malley. The admission lands like a gunshot. Why? Chloe wanted him. She's always known what she wanted. Margaret's voice is matter-of-fact, like discussing dinner plans. You were too busy with your company to give David what he deserved. I did what a mother does. I looked after Chloe's happiness. Elena's mind flashes backward. The Yale scholarship that disappeared, Chloe accepted the next year. The business proposal Elena shared at dinner, Chloe pitching the same concept months later with Margaret's connections. The promotion Elena earned, overlooked when her supervisor's wife became close with Margaret. A lifetime of erasure, small thefts so precise she'd barely noticed until now, bleeding out in her childhood home. You taught me my own mother was my enemy, Elena whispers. Margaret's expression doesn't change. Don't be dramatic. You'll thank me when you find someone more suitable. When you can give a man what David needs. And what does David need? Real children, a real wife, not your deficiency. The word hangs in the air. The deficiency Margaret herself created. Elena walks to the door, turns back one last time. Don't contact me again. You're not my mother. You haven't been for a long time. I just didn't realize it. She drives back to the motel, opens her laptop, stares at a bank account with 227s, a dead car she can't afford to fix, and an email inbox full of job rejections, all because David's poisoned her professionally too. But as Elena sits in that motel room, lost in thoughts, thinking of how to pick herself up, her phone buzzes. Unknown number. She ignores it. It buzzes again. Same number. And again. Exasperated, she finally answers. Hello? Ms. Vance? A woman's voice, professional and warm. My name is Patricia Ward. I'm calling on behalf of the Sterling Foundation. We have a proposition that may interest you. I don't understand. What kind of proposition? It's rather sensitive. I'd prefer to discuss it in person. Would you be available to meet tomorrow morning? Say 10 o'clock? I can send a car if transportation is an issue. Elena agrees, thinking maybe someone got one of her mails and was ready to overlook her mistakes. The next day, the car Patricia sends pulls up to a private hospital that looks more like a luxury hotel. Patricia Ward waits in the lobby, younger than Elena expected, with sharp eyes and a genuine smile. Ms. Vance, thank you for coming. I still don't know why I'm here. All will be explained. Follow me. They take an elevator to the top floor. Patricia stops at a door marked Private Suite 7. Inside, the room floods with natural light. Flowers everywhere, orchids, roses, arrangements worth more than Elena's car repair. And in the bed, propped by pillows, is Isabella Sterling. She can't be more than 38, but illness has carved her features into something almost ethereal. Dark hair wrapped in an elegant scarf, bright, assessing eyes. Elena Vance. Isabella's voice is soft but steady. Please, sit. Patricia slips out. Elena sits, completely lost even though the lady before her looks oddly familiar. I have a degenerative neurological condition, Isabella says without preamble. The surgery's failed. I have weeks left, maybe less. She gestures to a photo on the nightstand, a tall man with dark hair and grief already settling into his features. That's Alexander, my husband. We've been trying for a baby for years. I'm sorry, Elena says. We have our last set of embryos, healthy, viable, my last dream. Isabella's hand moves to her stomach. But my body can't carry them. Others have tried and failed. I've been searching for a surrogate, someone whose body matches mine perfectly. Elena blinks. I don't understand. You donated to me years ago, remember? Isabella's eyes are gentle. 3 months ago, you had blood work done at this hospital for your fertility treatment, and the lab ran expanded panels. Elena, you're a near-perfect genetic match for me, just like you were back then. Isabella reaches out. Elena finds herself taking her hand. I've been searching for months. Someone who understands loss. Someone who knows what it means to want something desperately and have it taken away. Isabella's grip tightens. Patricia is thorough. I know about your husband, your sister, your mother. I know you thought you couldn't have children. I know you lost everything. Elena should feel invaded. Instead, she feels seen. Why would you want me? I'm a mess. You're surviving. There's a difference. Isabella smiles. I believe in signs. You appeared exactly when I needed you. Patricia returns with documents, sits beside Elena. $500,000 total, $100,000 up front. All medical expenses covered. You'd live in the guest house on the Sterling estate. Full legal protections. Elena's brain stutters on the numbers. 100,000 up front. You'd carry the baby to term, deliver them, and your obligation ends, Patricia continues. No parental rights or responsibilities. Why me? Elena asks. You could find someone else. Isabella answers before Patricia can. I don't want qualified. I want someone who will love them while they're growing, even if they'll never be yours. I want someone who understands what a miracle they are. The door opens. Alexander Sterling enters, over 6 feet, presence that fills the room, grief carved into every line of his face. His expensive suit can't hide the exhaustion in his eyes. Isabella, you should be resting. He sees Elena. Stops. Who is this? Alexander, this is Elena Vance. His gaze pins her in place. The surrogate candidate. This is too fast, he says, looking at Patricia. Background checks, psychological evaluation. Alexander. Isabella's soft voice cuts through his objections. I know her. That's enough. You've known her for 10 minutes. Sometimes that's all it takes. Isabella looks at him with such love it hurts to witness. Please, trust me. One last time. Something in Alexander's face cracks. He moves to Isabella's bedside, takes her hand. When he looks at Elena again, his expression is carefully neutral. May I see the contract? Patricia hands it over. He reads with focused intensity. 5 minutes of silence broken only by turning pages. Weekly medical monitoring minimum, he says finally. She stays in the guest house for proximity and safety. And you understand. He looks directly at Elena. This is a medical arrangement, nothing more. When they're born, you walk away. The bluntness should sting. Elena appreciates it. I understand. Your wife is hiring me to keep a promise. I keep my promises. Something flickers in his eyes. Respect, maybe. Alexander, Isabella says softly, give us a moment. He hesitates, then nods, presses a kiss to her forehead and leaves. He's scared, Isabella says when they're alone. He's losing me and terrified of losing them too. The control makes him feel safer. I don't blame him. I know. That's why you're right for this. Isabella settles back into her pillows. Patricia will give you 24 hours to think it over. Elena nods and stands to leave. Elena? Isabella's voice stops her at the door. Whatever happened to you before, it made you strong enough for this. Remember that. Back in the motel room, Elena spreads the contract across the bed. $500,000, a place to live, purpose, a chance to rebuild and get back the companies she dashed out in the name of love. Her phone rings. Dr. Sarah. Elena, I wanted to check in. How are you doing? I have a question about surrogacy. A pause. What kind of question? If someone offered a surrogacy arrangement, legitimate, legal, well compensated, would it be safe? Based on your medical history, you'd be an ideal candidate after treatment. But emotionally, Dr. Sarah's voice is gentle. Are you doing this for the right reasons? Elena looks around the motel room, at the suitcase holding everything she owns. I'm doing it because someone wants to bring life into the world, and I can help. What better reason is there? After they hang up, Elena reads the contract 3 times. Patricia's note is clipped to the front. Take your time. This should feel right, not desperate. But Elena is desperate, and maybe that's okay. She thinks about Isabella's face, the love when she looked at her husband, the hope when she talked about babies she'd never hold. She thinks about Margaret, who sabotaged her fertility to give Chloe what she wanted, about David, who took everything she built, about a lifetime of being erased until she almost believed she was nothing. But she's not nothing. She can do this one enormous, important, life-giving thing. Elena opens her laptop, photographs the signed contract, emails it to Patricia at 11:47 p.m. The response comes in 3 minutes. Thank you, Elena. You're giving them an extraordinary gift. For the first time in weeks, sleep comes easily. 2 months later, Elena's body is ready and the embryo transfer is successful. The pregnancy test is positive. Isabella lives long enough to know. That's something. But 3 days later, after their first ultrasound, Elena stands at the back of a small funeral in one of the Sterling family plots. Maybe 30 people. Old money in black designer clothes, grief polished and proper. Alexander stands at the front, rigid as the tombstone beside him, his mother Catherine next to him. A recorded voice plays from a speaker. Isabella's voice, warm, alive, impossibly present. If you're hearing this, it means I'm gone, and I need you to know I'm not sad. I got to love the most extraordinary man. I got to dream of children. A pause, the sound of breathing. Alexander, my love, find joy again. Please, don't let this be where your story ends. Live. That's all I ever wanted for you. The recording ends. Alexander's shoulders finally move, a tremble that makes everyone look away. Everyone except Elena. Their eyes meet across the grave. His are shattered, drowning. Hers are steady. She places both hands on her barely there bump, a reminder of why they're both here. Alexander nods once. Elena nods back. After everyone leaves, Elena approaches the grave, places a single white rose on fresh earth. I'll keep my promise, she whispers. Both of them. 1 week later, the guest house feels emptier after the funeral. Elena unpacks her few belongings again. Laptop, grandmother's photo, wrinkled clothes. She tries to make it feel like home. It doesn't work. Through the window, she sees Alexander moving through the main house like a ghost. They haven't spoken since the funeral. All communication comes through Patricia or household staff. Dr. Reeves wants to see you Thursday at 2 p.m. Car at 1:30. From Patricia, submit meal preferences for the week. The chef needs proper prenatal nutrition protocols. From Mrs. Hendricks, Mr. Sterling requests you maintain all appointments and health protocols. Patricia again. Elena is a vessel, a walking incubator, not a person. She tells herself this is fine, professional distance, medical arrangement. But at night, alone, she talks to them. Your mom wanted you so much, she whispers, hands on her belly. She fought so hard for you. She picked me specifically out of everyone in the world. I'm going to make sure you know how loved you were before you even existed. The first real conflict happens on a Tuesday. Elena lies on the sofa, headphones resting on her belly, playing Mozart. She'd read about prenatal stimulation, babies hearing music, developing neural pathways. The door opens without knocking. Alexander stands there, expression thunderous. What are you doing? Elena sits up quickly. I was just playing music on your stomach? Why? Prenatal stimulation. Studies show babies can hear. Studies are inconclusive. His voice is sharp. I'd prefer you stick to medical protocols only. Dr. Reeves has specific plans. Unvetted interventions could... They're babies, not experiments. Elena stands, frustration boiling over. Music isn't going to hurt them. You don't know that. Neither do you. They stare at each other. Alexander's jaw is tight, hands clenched. Then something in his face cracks. They're all I have left of her. His voice breaks. I need them to be healthy. I need them to be perfect. I can't lose them too. Elena's anger dissolves. She sees him clearly now. Not a controlling billionaire, but a terrified man protecting the last pieces of his wife. You won't, she says softly. I promise. But Alexander, they need more than perfect health. They need life, joy, music, and... You don't understand. He's at the door now, not looking at her. You couldn't possibly understand. I understand loss, Elena says to his back. I understand being so afraid of losing something that you forget to actually live with it. He pauses, doesn't turn. No more unauthorized interventions. Then he's gone. Elena sits back down, places the headphones on her belly, turns the music back on. Some promises are more important than rules. A physical envelope arrives from the private investigator Elena hired weeks ago. She spreads the documents across her coffee table. Financial records, client communications, photos. David leaving the office at 2 p.m. looking haggard. Chloe at Nordstrom with Margaret. Margaret writing a check at a bank. The summary is brutal. Vance Groups, 70% client loss in 4 months. David took out $400,000 in loans using the company as collateral. Current value, $150,000, down from 2.1 blets. No offers above $200,000. Chloe Vance, $127,000 spent in 3 months, nursery furniture, maternity clothes, renovations. Margaret Vance provided $85,000 in loans with no repayment structure. Prognosis? Complete financial collapse within 6 months. Elena reads it 3 times. The company she built from nothing, hemorrhaging value because David has no idea what he's doing. It should feel like victory. Instead, it feels like watching something beautiful burn. She calls the PI. Klein? It's Elena Vance. I read the report. I want to buy the company back when he's desperate enough. A pause. How lowball? Whatever makes him understand what it feels like to lose everything. Klein laughs. I like you, Ms. Vance. When he hits rock bottom, you'll be first to know. After she hangs up, Elena realizes she's smiling. Not a nice smile, the kind that means something has shifted inside her. She's not just surviving anymore, she's planning. But can she do it alone? Elena is 12 weeks pregnant now, and she hasn't seen Alexander in a week. Traveling for business, according to Patricia. But when she arrives at Dr. Reeves' office for the ultrasound, he's already there. He stands when she enters. Looks terrible. Wrinkled suit. Shadows under his eyes. Unshaven. You didn't have to come, Elena says. Yes, I did, he gestures to the exam room. After you. The ultrasound tech helps Elena onto the table. The slight curve of her belly is undeniable now. Let's see those babies, the tech says cheerfully. She presses the wand against Elena's skin. The monitor flickers. Then, sound. A rapid whooshing. Strong. Steady. There's baby A. Nice strong heartbeat. She moves the wand. More clicking. Another whooshing. Different rhythms. 2 hearts. 2 lives. 2 futures. The sound fills the room. Elena can't breathe. This is the life she's carrying. Life that isn't hers, but somehow is. She looks at Alexander. He's gripping the exam table edge, knuckles white, eyes fixed on the monitor. Tears stream down his face, the first real emotion since the funeral. Without thinking, Elena reaches for his hand. He grips it like a lifeline, shaking. Or maybe she's shaking. Maybe they both are. Both heartbeats are excellent, the tech says. Measuring perfectly. Everything looks great. Perfect. The word Alexander needs. When it's over, the tech leaves them alone. Alexander still hasn't let go of Elena's hand. Thank you. His voice is wrecked. For keeping your promise to Isabella. For... He looks at their joined hands like he just realized they're touching. Doesn't pull away. For keeping your promise to them too. I'm keeping my promise to all of you, Elena says, including myself. These babies, they're my promise that I can build something good. Alexander finally looks at her. Really looks. Not as a surrogate, as a person. I'm sorry for treating you like you weren't human. That wasn't fair. You're grieving, I understand. That's not an excuse. He releases her hand slowly. Isabella would have hated how I've been acting. She would have wanted us to be friends. We can try, Elena offers. Friends seems good. Something that might be a smile crosses his face. Friends who are having babies together. Not weird at all. Elena laughs, surprising herself. Not even a little. In the parking lot, Alexander hesitates by his car. The doctor said proper nutrition is important. Are you eating enough? Mrs. Hendricks sends over more food than I can eat. Are you eating alone? Elena nods. Would you like dinner tonight in the main house? I promise not to interrogate you about prenatal interventions. Just dinner? And maybe you could tell me about the babies. What do you talk to them about? Elena's throat tightens. I'd like that. Over the next month, dinner becomes routine. Not every night, but twice a week, sometimes 3. Elena makes her way to the main house. They eat in the enormous dining room that feels less lonely with 2 people. Conversations start safely. Weather, symptoms, appointments. But slowly, they share more. Tell me about Isabella, Elena says one night over salmon. How did you meet? Alexander sets down his fork. For a moment, she thinks she's pushed too far. Then he speaks. At a charity auction, I was bidding on a painting. Isabella bid against me, drove the price up ridiculously. His face softens. I was furious. When I won, she came over. Said she didn't even like the painting. She just wanted to see how far I'd go. That's devious. That was Isabella, fearless. She saw me, really saw me, before the money and expectations. His voice cracks. I never understood why. I still don't. Elena reaches across the table, covers his hand. Maybe because you were worth loving. Maybe that's all the reason she needed. They sit like that. The dining room is quiet except for the grandfather clock marking time. Why did you agree to this? Alexander asks suddenly. You could have any life. Why this? Elena considers lying, but he's been honest. I'm building the life I want, starting with keeping a promise. She meets his eyes. I spent 32 years being who everyone else needed. Perfect daughter, perfect wife, perfect victim. This, she places a hand on her belly. This is me choosing. Alexander studies her. You're braver than you know. Or more desperate. Both, maybe? The best decisions usually are. Time passes in doctor's appointments and quiet dinners and slow trust between two people with every reason not to trust anyone. Elena finds Alexander in the garden one afternoon, reading a pregnancy book with intense focus. What are you learning? He looks up. Babies can hiccup in utero, starting around now. Good for lung development. He shows her the page. And they can hear your voice. Recognize it. Studies show. He stops, gives her a wry smile. I know. Inconclusive. Keep reading, Elena says. So, he does. Reads aloud about fetal development, what the babies can feel and hear. When Elena sits beside him and places his hand on her belly, and he feels a kick for the first time, his expression breaks open. Wonder and grief and hope mixing impossibly. They're real, he whispers. They're real. They sit as the sun sets, his hand on her belly, both marveling at the life growing between them. At 6 months pregnant, Elena carries laundry down the guest house stairs. The pregnancy books say light exercise is good. They don't account for shifting balance. Her foot catches. The basket flies. She grabs the railing, but her belly makes balance wrong, and she's falling. She hits the landing hard. 5 steps, hard enough to steal her breath. For a horrible moment, silence. Then pain blooms across her hip and shoulder. But worse, the babies. Are they? The guest house door slams open. Alexander bursts in, tie loosened. Elena! He's beside her in seconds. Don't move. Are you hurt? Are they? I'm okay. Elena takes inventory. Hip throbs, shoulder aches, but I can feel them moving. They're okay. You're bleeding. He points to her scraped elbow. We're going to the hospital, now. Alexander, we're going. At the ER, Dr. Reeves examines thoroughly. Baby's heartbeats are strong. No distress. Elena's injuries are minor. You were lucky, Dr. Reeves says, but Mr. Sterling's right. 3rd trimester with twins, stairs are dangerous. Do you have a ground floor option? Alexander answers before Elena can. She's moving into the main house. The guest suite is on the ground floor. In the car, Alexander's jaw is tight, knuckles white on the wheel. I'm sorry I scared you. You didn't scare me. You terrified me. He still won't look at her. When I saw you fall, if something happened to you, to them, because I was too proud to suggest moving sooner, this isn't your fault. It would have been. He pulls into the driveway. You're moving tonight. I don't care if it crosses lines. You're 6 months pregnant with twins. You need to be safe. Elena wants to argue, but she's exhausted. The stairs have been getting harder. Okay. Mrs. Hendricks has already moved her belongings. Fusses over bruises. Brings ice and tea. About time, she mutters. Told Mr. Sterling weeks ago those stairs were dangerous. After she leaves, Elena sits on the enormous bed, places hands on her belly. The babies are active, tumbling. We're okay, she whispers. I promise. A soft knock. Alexander in the doorway, changed to jeans and t-shirt. Elena's never seen him casually. He looks younger, more vulnerable. I wanted to make sure you have everything. I do, thank you. He nods but doesn't leave. When I saw you fall, I couldn't breathe. The thought of losing them, of losing you. He runs a hand through his hair. You've become important. To this household. To me, I need you safe. I will be. I promise. 3 a.m. Elena can't sleep. Baby's doing gymnastics. Hip aches. She gives up, makes her way to the kitchen. The light's already on. Alexander sits at the island, tea in front of him, staring at nothing. Can't sleep? He is startled. Insomnia, since... He doesn't finish. Since Isabella. You? Dance party. She gestures to her belly. I'll get ice. No, I just needed to move. He makes her tea. They sit in comfortable silence. Alexander notices her shiver. Leaves, returns with a cardigan. Soft cashmere, pale blue. Drapes it over her shoulders. Elena touches the fabric. Worn. Loved. This is Isabella's favorite. His face does something complicated. I'm sorry, I wasn't... No, it's okay. Elena pulls it closer. Smells faintly of lavender. Thank you. She'd want you warm. They drink tea in silence. Outside, the estate is dark and peaceful. Inside, something shifts between them. Something neither is ready to name. Morning routines develop naturally. Alexander by 6, making coffee. Elena around 7, making green smoothies. That's disturbing, he says one morning. It's nutritious. Your children will thank me for superior bone density. He almost smiles. My children are lucky to have you. The Aya, casual domesticity is strange and comfortable. Him reading the paper, her checking emails, staff moving around them. One morning, Elena reaches for a mug on the top shelf, loses balance. Alexander's there instantly, hands on her waist. Careful. She turns. Too close. His hands still on her waist. She can see gold flecks in his dark eyes. Thank you, she whispers. His hands linger. Then he steps back quickly. A meeting. He leaves his coffee unfinished. One Thursday afternoon, Catherine Sterling arrives unannounced. Elena's in the library reviewing presentations when Mrs. Hendricks appears, flustered. Mrs. Sterling is here. The elder Mrs. Sterling. Sir Alexander's in the city. It's fine, I'll say hello. Catherine sits in the formal living room, like sitting in judgment. Elegant, cold, old money personified. Steel gray hair, pearls, perfectly tailored suit. Her eyes travel over Elena. Pregnant belly. Casual clothes. Bare feet. You must be the surrogate. Elena Vance, nice to meet you. Is it? Catherine sets her handbag down deliberately. How convenient you're living in the main house. Isabella's house. Elena's spine straightens. Alexander thought it safer? I'm sure. Catherine stands, moves closer. Let me be direct. You're after his money. A woman in your situation, divorced, penniless, suddenly pregnant. Quite convenient. I'm being compensated for medical and living in a mansion, eating with him, playing house with Isabella's husband and children. Catherine's voice cuts glass. I know women like you, grieving widower, dollar signs, but Alexander is not available. He will never be. Isabella was the love of his life. You're just... Mother, that's enough. Alexander's voice slices through the room. Elena didn't hear him enter. His expression is terrifying. Alexander, I'm protecting... Leave, now. Don't be dramatic. I said leave. He steps forward. Elena is a guest. She's carrying my children. She deserves respect. If you can't provide that, you're not welcome. Catherine's face flushes. I'm your mother. Then act like one who wants her son happy. His jaw tightens. Elena saved my life. She's giving me a future. If you can't see that, we have nothing to discuss. Silence. Catherine picks up her handbag with shaking hands. You're making a mistake. The only mistake was not saying this years ago. Your opinion is no longer relevant. Goodbye, Mother. Catherine leaves. The door closes. Alexander stands rigid, breathing hard. I'm sorry, Elena says quietly. I didn't mean to cause problems. She caused them, not you. He faces her. Elena, she's wrong. You're not after anything. You've given everything. She's not entirely wrong. I am benefiting. So am I, more than you know. He sits beside her. Before you, I was drowning, going through motions. You gave me purpose, hope. His voice drops. A reason to keep living. That's worth more than money. Silence. Catherine's car pulls away. Your mother hates me. She doesn't understand you, but I do. He looks at her, and I'm grateful. That night, Elena finds Alexander in the nursery, his sanctuary. He holds an envelope, shoulders shaking. Alexander? He looks up, face devastated. Another letter. Isabella wrote them before she died. One for every milestone. He holds up the envelope. First day of preschool. Elena crosses the room, sits beside him. Do you want to read it? He nods, opens it with trembling hands. My darling babies, I will never meet you, but I loved you before you existed. Today you're starting preschool. I wish I could see your faces. Are you brave? Do you have your father's eyes? I hope you know how wanted you are. Your father will tell you stories, but here's what I want you to know. I chose life for you. Even dying, I chose your future. That's love, choosing someone else's future over your comfort. Your father will teach you everything. And maybe there's someone else there too. Someone who carried you with such care, who loved you though you weren't hers. Thank her for me. Thank her for the gift she gave us. Love forever, Mom. The letter ends. Alexander's hands shake so hard he drops it. Elena picks it up carefully, folds it, places it back. I'm terrified, Alexander whispers. What if I can't do this without her? You won't be without her. Elena touches his arm. She's in them. Every smile, every stubborn moment. That's Isabella, and you won't be alone. He looks at her, eyes oceans of grief. Promise? Promise. Alexander's forehead touches hers, just for a moment. A whisper of contact, but the intimacy is staggering. She can feel his breath, count his eyelashes, see every shade of pain and hope. Then he pulls back, stands, offers her a hand up. Thank you for being here, for not running. Where would I run? But they both know that's not the real answer. The real answer is she doesn't want to run anymore. Later, the PI delivers an update. Elena carries her laptop to Alexander's office. David's desperate, she says. Margaret cut him off after he screamed at Chloe at a charity event. The companies are posted for $2 million, half what they are worth. Alexander looks up. What do you want to do? Elena shows him the email she's drafted. I want to send an offer, lowball, insulting, and I want him to know who's buying. Are you sure? Revenge can be? This isn't revenge. It's recovery. She meets his eyes. I'm taking back what's mine. Then send it. Elena clicks send. David, I'm prepared to offer $500,000 for all of Vance Groups. Generous considering you contributed nothing to the business's success. You have 48 hours. E. Vance. Across town, David stares at his phone, reads once, twice, 3 times, then hurls it across the room. It shatters. Screen spiders into fractures. The door opens. Chloe enters with the baby, 3 months old, always crying. She looks exhausted. Unwashed hair, milk-stained clothes. Did we get an offer? From Elena, 500,000. That's something, right? It's an insult. David's hands shake. The whole company's worth $2 million. Elena built it. You just signed your name. Chloe's voice is cold. Kinda like everything else. David stares. What's that mean? My mother was wrong. She said you were successful, going places. She shifts the crying baby. Turns out you were just good at taking credit. Your mother set this up. My mother was wrong about you, clearly. She leaves. The baby's cries echo. David sits alone, surrounded by bills he can't pay, staring at an offer that's both a lifeline and humiliation. Elena Vance, the woman he discarded, who was supposed to disappear. She's buying her company back for pennies and wants him to know she's winning. But how? In the Sterling kitchen, Elena and Alexander attempt dinner. His idea, prenatal nutrition. Really, their excuse to be together. Saute garlic 2 minutes, Elena reads. I've been sautéing for 2 minutes. It's burning. Caramelizing. Alexander, it's black. They start over. Elena knocks flour everywhere. It coats the counter, floor, somehow Alexander's face. How did you? Elena starts laughing. Can't stop. Flour in his hair, on his cheek, making him look ridiculous and human. He tries sternly, fails, starts laughing too. Elena reaches up to wipe flour from his cheek. Her hand touches his face. Laughter fades, inches apart. His eyes were dark, focused entirely on her. She can feel his heat, smell cologne mixed with flour and burnt garlic. The babies kick, hard. Are you okay? Alexander's hands on her belly instantly. Just active. Here. She places his hand where movement is strongest. He feels them. Both babies are moving together. His expression transforms. Wonder, grief, something else that makes Elena's breath catch. They're so strong. Like their father. The words hang. Alexander's hand was still on her belly. Her hand was still on his cheek. Too close. Too connected. I should... Alexander pulls back suddenly. Calls. Business. Of course. He leaves. The kitchen feels enormous without him. Elena touches her lips, wondering what almost happened. She finishes dinner alone, eats alone, cleans alone. But when she goes to bed, she's smiling. Through the wall, Alexander stares at Isabella's photo. His wife, love of his life, forever. I don't know what to do, he whispers. You told me to live, but how can I not betray you? Isabella smiles in the photo, frozen, forever young, perfect, gone. Alexander looks at the wall separating his room from Elena's. Right there, carrying his children, making his house home, making him feel like a person instead of a wound. But she's not Isabella, never will be. He turns off the light, lies in dark, torn between honoring the past and embracing a future he never expected to want. In her room, Elena places a hand on her belly. 6 months. Halfway through. Company coming back. Life rebuilding. And somewhere, along the way, she's fallen for the man on the other side of the wall. Didn't mean to. Didn't plan it. But the heart doesn't ask permission. This is complicated, she whispers to the babies. Your mom loved your dad so much, and I... She stops. Can't finish. I don't know what I'm doing. Outside, the estate is quiet. Inside, 2 people lie awake in separate rooms, thinking about the same thing. About what almost happened. About what might still happen. About the impossible future building between them, wanted or not. At 38 weeks, Elena wakes to pain that splits her in half. Not gradually, just sudden, intense, stealing breath. 4:37 a.m. Room dark, except moonlight. Another contraction, and she gasps, curling around her enormous belly. Too early. 2 weeks early. But twins come early. She gets to her feet, bracing against bed. Water breaks with a rush, soaking the nightgown and floor. Alexander! She calls, breathless, then louder. Alexander! Her door opens immediately. Hair disheveled, pajama pants. Elena? What? Sees her face. Water. Oh, God. Okay, it's happening. Another contraction. Elena doubles over. Hospital, she pants. Alexander moves fast. Dressed in seconds. Helps Elena into her dress. Her hands shake too badly. He does buttons, gentle despite panic. The bag. Got it. He grabs from the closet. Can you walk? I have to. The drive is contractions and terror. Alexander drives one-handed, the other gripping Elena's. You're doing great. Just breathe. Almost there. Don't leave me. Elena gasps. Pain is enormous. Please. Never. He kisses her hand. I promise. Never. They're rushed into delivery. Dr. Reeves is already there. Nurses swarm, attaching monitors, checking vitals. 7 centimeters, moving fast. These babies want out. The hours blur, pain and pressure. Elena screams. Alexander never leaves. He holds her hand through every contraction. Let her crush his fingers, wipe sweat with cool cloth. I can't, Elena sobs after 3 hours. I can't. Too much. Yes, you can. Alexander's face inches from hers, intense. You're the strongest person I know. You survived everything. Family, husband, losing everything and rebuilding. You can do this. They need you. I need you. I'm scared. I know, I'm terrified, but we're doing this together. Another contraction, Elena screams. Alexander holds her, murmuring encouragement, being her anchor in chaos. Okay, Elena, Dr. Reeves says. Time to push. The girl arrives at 2:47 p.m., 10 hours of labor. When Dr. Reeves lifts her up, crying, perfect, alive, everything else disappears. It's a girl. Places her on Elena's chest one brief moment. Then nurses take her to clean up. Elena can't breathe, can't think. Just stares at tiny faces, perfect fingers, evidence life is real and impossible and beautiful. Then they place her in Alexander's arms. He's crying, full body-shaking sobs he can't control. He looks at Elena, tears streaming. Thank you, voice breaks. Thank you for keeping your promise. One more, Dr. Reeves says. Let's bring your son. The boy arrives 7 minutes later. Smaller, but lungs just as strong. Cry fills the room, angry and alive. Nurses place him in Elena's arms. She holds him, just for a moment. Warm and perfect and not hers to keep. That was always the deal, but for this moment she lets herself pretend. They're perfect, she whispers, looking at Alexander holding his daughter like glass. Isabella would be so proud. Then she hands the boy to Alexander. Her arms are empty. Contract fulfilled. Promise kept. The room fills with sound. Babies crying, nurses moving, Dr. Reeves calling instructions. But Elena sees none of it. She lies back, exhausted and empty, letting tears come. She did it. Gave Alexander his future. Kept her promise to Isabella. Now she just has to figure out how to walk away. 3 months later, the 3 a.m. feeding is routine but not easier. Elena wakes to crying, stumbles to the nursery. Alexander's already there, holding Sophia, named after Isabella's grandmother, looking lost. I don't know what she wants. Changed her. Tried feeding. She just cries. Let me try. Elena takes Sophia, settles in the rocking chair, adjusts position. Sophia quiets immediately, nuzzling into Elena's chest. Alexander slumps against the wall, relief flooding his face. How do you do that? Practice. Elena looks at the baby, 3 months old, starting to smile, recognize faces. Sophia looks like Isabella. Dark hair, serious eyes. James looks like Alexander. Where's James? Sleeping, terrified to celebrate. They sit in the dark, only hearing Sophia's breathing. Alexander makes coffee. They keep a pot in the nursery now. Thank you, Elena whispers, for terrible 3 a.m. coffee, for letting me stay. She hasn't left, not in 3 months. The contract ended at birth, but Alexander asked her to stay. Just until they're settled. But settling keeps getting delayed. Where else would I go? Elena wants to ask what kind of family, afraid of the answer. Alexander notices her shiver, drapes a blanket over her shoulders. His hands linger a moment too long. Go back to bed. I've got this. I don't want to leave you alone. I'm not alone. I've got her. Still. He settles in the other chair. I'll stay. They sit together, rocking in unison, drinking terrible coffee, being parents to children not quite Elena's, but somehow are. Mornings are chaotic. They hired Mrs. Patterson, 30 years experience, who arrives at 8 a.m., takes one look at the disaster, and offers to take over. "We've got it," Elena and Alexander say in unison, waving her off. "You're paying me to watch you struggle." Dinner is a sanctuary. After the baby's fed and settled, taking forever, Elena and Alexander collapsed with whatever Mrs. Hendricks prepared. Tonight, chicken and vegetables. Alexander has pured peas in his hair. Elena has spit up she's too tired to care about. "Remember when we thought we were tired at 6 months?" Elena pushes food around. "We were children, innocent." Alexander chews mechanically. "Now we know true exhaustion." James smiled at me today. Real smile, not gas. Alexander's face transforms. "He smiled at me yesterday. Sophia won't smile at me. She just judges my life choices." She's 3 months old. "The judgment is real." Elena laughs. "You're doing great. They're lucky." "We're lucky to have you." Casual, but serious. "I don't know how single parents do this. I can barely manage with the two of us." Two of us. The phrase hangs. They're not parents together, not really. Elena is the surrogate who stayed too long. This is temporary. Except it doesn't feel temporary anymore. Elena stands to clear dishes. Alexander catches her wrist. "Wait, I need to tell you something." Her heart stops. "Okay." "I've been thinking, you've been here 3 months. The guest suite, it's not really a guest suite, it's your room." "Alexander, I want to officially ask you to stay, not as a help, not as the surrogate, but as part of this family. However, you define that." Elena's throat closes. "I don't understand what you're asking. I'm asking you to stay, permanently, to be in their lives, to be..." Struggles. "I don't know what this is. I just know I don't want you to leave." Before Elena can answer, Sophia starts crying. James joins, a discordant duet of infant rage. Moment shatters. "I'll get him," Elena says, flees before Alexander can see her tears. Thursday morning. Elena's in the guest suite, her room as Alexander called it, packing belongings into boxes. Not many. Came with almost nothing, leaves with barely more. Baby's 3.5 months, sleep slightly longer, smile, track objects, don't need her like before. It's time. Past time. She'd leave when they didn't need her. But the truth is simpler, more terrifying. She doesn't want to leave. That's exactly why she has to. She's placing books in a box when Alexander appears. Face goes white. "What are you doing?" "Packing." "Why?" Elena keeps her back to him, folding the sweater mechanically. "Contracts fulfilled. I should give you space. Give them space to bond without..." "Without what?" He steps in. "Elena, what are you talking about?" "This was always the plan. Carry babies, deliver, leave. That was the arrangement." "Plans change, arrangements change." Closer now, panic in voice. "What if I don't want space?" "Alexander, you're grieving, confused. You think you need me because I'm here, convenient." "Convenient?" He laughs, sharp and bitter. "Nothing about this is convenient. Nothing about you has ever been convenient." He moves around to face her. "What if I want you to stay? Not as surrogate." "Then as what?" Elena finally looks at him. "Nanny? Hired help? A woman who lives here and cares for your children but isn't really part of your life?" "No." Frustration boils. "As... God, Elena, I don't know what to call it. Isabella's last words were, 'Promise me you'll live again.' I didn't understand, but I think..." Voice cracks. "I think she meant you." Elena stares. "Don't say that. Don't use Isabella to..." "I'm not using her. I'm trying to honor her." Runs hand through hair. "She knew. Somehow she knew I'd need someone, and she chose you. Not just to carry babies. She chose you for me. That's not, Elena's voice breaks. You don't mean that. I'm terrified. He takes her hands, his shaking, of dishonoring her memory, of what I feel for you. But I'm more terrified of losing you, of waking up and finding you gone and realizing I never told you. Stops, swallows. You gave me everything and asked for nothing. Let me give you everything back. Let me choose you. The babies? I already love you. I see how you look at them, how they calm when you hold them. Sophia only smiles for you. James stops crying at your voice. His eyes were wet. They know you're their mother. I know it. Everyone knows except you. I was supposed to leave. That was the deal. Then let's make a new deal. His thumbs stroke her knuckles. Stay. Be their mother. Be my... Elena kisses him before he can finish, before she can think, before fear or logic or Isabella's ghost can stop her. Desperate and yearning. Years of grief and hope and longing colliding. Alexander makes a sound, surprise or relief or both, then kisses back, pulling her closer, hands in her hair. They break apart, breathing hard. Elena's hands fisted in his shirt, his forehead against hers. I didn't carry them to trap you, Elena whispers. I never expected... I know, that's why. Cups her face. You gave me my life back. Now let me give you yours. I don't know how to be someone's... Can't finish. We'll figure it out together. He kisses her again, softer. We've been figuring it out for months. We just stopped pretending. From the nursery, a baby cries. They pull apart, laughing, and go together. James, unhappy about something only he understands. Elena picks him up, settles him against her chest. He quiets immediately. Alexander watches, expressing everything Elena never knew she needed. See? You're already his mother. Mama. Elena tests the word. Too big, too presumptuous, but also right. Is that okay? It's everything. 3 days later, Elena's in her office when her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer. Something makes her pick up. Elena. Margaret's voice clipped. We need to talk. Elena hasn't heard from her mother in nearly a year. About what? David lost everything. Company, house, everything. Voice wavers. Chloe is beside herself. The baby's suffering. Surely you could help. Help how? Offer them jobs at your company. I heard you bought them back. Pause. It's the least you could do, as a family. Elena laughs. Cold. We're not family. You made that clear. Elena, don't be dramatic. David's bankrupt because he had no idea how to run what he took from me. Voice steady, calm. Chloe's unhappy because she wanted fantasy, not the man. And you orchestrated all of it. You spent my entire life erasing me so Chloe could have everything she wanted. I did what was best. You did what was easiest. Now you have exactly what you created. Broke son-in-law, unhappy daughter, grandchild in poverty. Elena watches Alexander push the twins in their stroller in the garden below. You wanted Chloe happy. How's that working? You've become cruel. No, I've become clear. Elena's voice is final. Don't call again. Don't write. Don't contact me. I'm done being your daughter. I have a real family now. She hangs up, blocks the number, sits in silence. After a moment, Alexander appears. I heard voices. My mother wanted me to give David and Chloe jobs. What did you say? No. Elena smiles, not nice. Actually, a lot more, but summary, no. Alexander crosses the room, pulls her into his arms. How do you feel? Free. Breathes him in. Soap, coffee, home. Completely free. Across town, David stares at past due notices. Rent, utilities, credit cards. Numbers blur into impossible sums. Chloe emerges, baby screaming on her hip. Unwashed hair, discount clothes, Looks 10 years older. Did Elena call back? No, your mother called her. Elena said no. Chloe's face twists, pulls out phone, scrolls to Elena's social media. Sterling Foundation posted yesterday. Photo from gala. Elena in elegant gown, Alexander's arm around waist, twins in double stroller. Elena is radiant, successful, loved, everything Chloe wanted. Caption: proud to announce Elena Vance as newest board member of Sterling Foundation. Her marketing expertise and dedication to building futures makes her invaluable. She's on the Sterling Foundation board, Chloe says flatly. Who cares? She's with Alexander Sterling, living in his mansion, raising those babies, running her company, our company. It was never our company. It was always hers. David's voice is dead. Chloe stares at the photo, at Elena's smile, at the perfect life built from ashes Chloe left her in. Baby needs changing, she says finally. Your turn. She walks to the bedroom, then slams the door. Margaret sits on their worn couch, silent and diminished. The grandmother who orchestrated this disaster. I thought, she starts. You thought wrong, David interrupts. About everything. Margaret doesn't argue, just sits in ruins of her scheming, surrounded by the bitter, broken family she created. 6 months later, the Sterling estate garden is in full bloom. Spring brings warmth, life, and the promise of new beginnings. Elena spreads a blanket under the oak tree. Alexander sets up the twins in their stroller. Sophia and James are 9 months old, starting to crawl, babble, become real people. Sophia is serious like Isabella. James is social like Alexander used to be, before grief, smiling at everyone. Elena has a laptop open, reviewing expansion plans for Vance Groups. The company doubled in size. Last year, new offices in 3 cities, 20 new employees. Revenue surpasses anything before. Look at you, Alexander says, settling beside her. Media mogul. Hardly, but she's smiling. Just rebuilding what I built. No, building something better. Something that can't be taken. Leans over her screen. New York office? Thinking about it. Sarah's smart. He closes the laptop gently. But right now, you're off duty. Family afternoon. Family. Word still catches Elena sometimes. Makes her throat tight with emotion she can't name. Sophia starts fussing. Elena reaches automatically. This is theirs now. Choreography developed without thinking. Lifts Sophia out, settles her on a blanket between them. She missed her mama, Alexander says. Word is casual now, natural. Elena is mama, Alexander is daddy. That's who they are. Mama, Elena repeats. 9 months being called that still feels like a gift. Yes, I'm here. James wants out too. Alexander gets him and sits beside his sister. Twins immediately crawl toward each other, babbling in secret language. They're getting so big, Elena says. They are. Alexander's arm goes around her shoulders naturally. Isabella would have loved this. She is seeing it. Elena leans into him. I believe that. Somehow. They sit like that. Family on blanket, babies playing. Spring sunshine warm. Not the life Elena imagined a year ago. Not the life Alexander expected when Isabella died. But it's theirs. Built from grief and hope and stubborn refusal to give up. Alexander's phone buzzes. He glances at it, face doing something complicated. It's my mother. She wants to meet the twins. Says she's sorry for how she acted. Elena feels him tense beside her. What do you want to do? I don't know. He stares at the phone. Part of me wants to tell her it's too late, that she made her choice. He pauses. But another part of me thinks about Sophia and James growing up without knowing their grandmother, even if she's difficult. Elena watches Sophia grab a handful of grass, examines it with intense focus. So much like Isabella, it hurts. What would Isabella want? She'd probably say forgiveness is hard, but holding on to anger is harder. Alexander looks at Elena. What do you think? Before Elena can answer, her own phone buzzes. Unknown number, but she recognizes the area code. Her father. The message is simple. Your mother is sick. Cancer. She's asking for you. I know I have no right, but she's still your mother. Dad, Elena stares at the screen and Alexander's hand finds hers. What is it? My mother. She's sick. Elena's voice is flat. She's asking for me. The twins babble between them, oblivious to the weight of the moment. Sophia reaches for Elena's face with sticky grass-covered fingers. James laughs at something only he understands. Alexander squeezes Elena's hand. You don't owe her anything. I know. Elena looks at the babies. In this family, she's built from ashes. But does that mean I should become like her? Does refusing to see her make me just as cold as she was to me? That's different. You're protecting yourself. Am I? Elena's eyes fill with tears. Or am I teaching Sophia and James that family is disposable? That when people hurt you, you cut them out forever? She wipes her eyes. What happens when they're teenagers and they hate us for some decision we made? Do we want them to think we just abandon them? Alexander is quiet for a long moment. I don't know. I honestly don't know. They sit in silence as the sun begins to set, painting the sky in shades of gold and pink. The twins yawn simultaneously, rubbing their eyes. Elena picks up Sophia. Alexander lifts James. They walk slowly toward the house, this family of four that shouldn't exist but does. At the doorway, Elena pauses, looks back at the garden where she sat broken just a year ago, then looks down at Sophia, who's already falling asleep against her shoulder. What do we do? She whispers. Alexander shifts James to his other arm. I think we figure it out together, like we've figured out everything else. But what's the right answer? Maybe there isn't one. He looks at her. Maybe that's the point. Inside, they put the twins to bed, stand together in the nursery doorway watching them sleep. Isabella's photo on the dresser catches the last rays of sunlight. Elena's phone sits heavy in her pocket. Margaret's life or death request unanswered. Alexander's phone sits on the counter downstairs. Catherine's apology was unacknowledged. 2 families, 2 chances at reconciliation, 2 impossible questions. Elena looks at Alexander. He looks at her. They both look at the twins, Sophia and James, innocent and loved, who will someday ask their parents what it means to forgive, what it means to be family, what it means to be strong enough to love people who hurt you, or strong enough to walk away. Neither Elena nor Alexander has an answer yet, and Elena thinks deeply. They took everything from me, my business, my family, my chance at children. They wanted me erased, but I built something they could never touch. I won. But here's the question I can't answer. When the people who destroyed you come back broken, when they're sorry or dying or desperate, when forgiving them might hurt you, but refusing might hurt your children. Elena's thumb hovers over her father's message. Doesn't press call. Doesn't delete it either. What do you do? Do you forgive people who never deserved it? Or do you protect the peace you fought so hard to build? Does being the bigger person mean letting people back in? Or does it mean being strong enough to keep them out? Elena and Alexander freeze in that impossible moment of decision while the twins sleep. The house is quiet. The question hangs unanswered. I don't know yet, but maybe you do. The end. If you watched the video up until now, I am grateful, but I want to know. What would you do? Would you forgive your family or protect your peace? Drop your answer in the comments, hit subscribe for more stories, share the video to your family and friends, and I will see you in my next video.